Hey there, mathematicians. It's Miss Johnson, and today we are going to go over some multiplication word problems with where we do a fraction of a fraction. Okay, so if you have your foldable, go ahead and just lift up like that. We'll start with number one. Remember, if you don't have the foldable, it's okay. Just write down the important stuff from the word problem and do it in your notebook so that you'll have those notes. All right, so number one says, in Miss Yerger's class, 3/4 of the students had done their homework. Of these, 4/9 had all the correct answers. Ooh, I hope I'm in that 4/9. What fraction of the whole class had all the correct answers? Okay, so it's asking us what fraction of the whole class had all the correct answers. So we know that of these, 4/9 had the correct answer. Okay, so that's kind of a funny little way that they worded it. So it's 4/9 of these had all the correct answers. Okay, so what is the of these talking about? Remember, we learned that if there's a fraction next to the word of, and we can replace the object of the preposition or the word behind it with a number or a value, then it's a multiplication situation. So what are they talking about of these? So let's read the first sentence. Miss Yerger's class, 3/4 of the students had done their homework. So did all the class do their homework? Nope, only 3/4 of the students had done their homework. Of these, so of the people that did their homework, because the ones that didn't do their homework, you know they didn't get any of them right? But of these that did their homework, 4/9 had all the correct answers. So of these, they're talking about the 3/4 that did their homework. So 4/9 of the 3/4. All right, so of means to multiply. So we're going to rewrite it as a multiplication sentence. So 4/9 times 3/4. Can we simplify? Yes, we can. I love it when I have the same number diagonal because it's going to be super easy for me to do my multiplication after that, because 4 divided by 4 is going to give me 1, and 4 divided by 4 is going to give me 1. What about 3 and 9? Can I simplify 3 and 9? Yep, by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. And now I can multiply straight across. Oh, remember, if this is too much jumbledness for you, remember, you can always rewrite. Have 1 at the numerator and 3 in the denominator. You can always rewrite it so that it's not so jumbled. So 1 and 1. And then that might make it easier. Okay, so do that if you need to, all right? So 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. So 1/3 of the class had all the correct answers. Now, I want to use this opportunity to show you something right here. We talked about if you have a fraction next to the word of, right? Well, right here, I have a fraction next to the word of. And then I have that right there, the students. It says 3/4 of the students had done their homework. Well, this right here is not a multiplication situation unless I know how many students are in Miss Yerger's class. And I don't know that. So I cannot say 3/4 of, I can't replace this with a number because I don't know how many students Miss Yerger teaches. All right? So I just wanted to point that out to you, that not always when you have a fraction next to the word of are you going to be able to multiply. Okay? Sometimes you'll have to add, sometimes you'll have to subtract. But if you can replace the phrase that is after the word of with a number, then it is a multiplication situation. All right, so let's look at number 2. An aquarium holds 6 1/4 gallons of water. The water level has dropped to 4/5 of this amount. How much water is in the aquarium? Okay, so we're looking at the water in the aquarium. So what does it tell me about the water in the aquarium? It tells me 2 things. It tells me that it holds this much. Then it says the water level has dropped to 4/5 of this amount. Of what amount? What amount are they talking about? Well, they're talking about from the previous sentence. They're talking about the 6 1/4. So 4/5 of this amount. This amount, we can replace it with the 6 1/4. So 4/5 of 6 1/4. So we know that of means that we're going to multiply. So we're going to do 4/5 times. Now 6 1/4, I'm going to go ahead, and a lot of kids like to call this to do Texas. I'm going to go ahead and do Texas. I'll make that mixed number improper. I'm going to say 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 more is 25. So 25, and then my denominator is 4, so 25/4. Ooh, look you guys, we can simplify 4 and 4, yay! It's making our math super easy. I'm going to say 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. What about 5 and 25? Can we simplify 5 and 25? Yep. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. Again, if this is super jumbled, so if you want to rewrite it, our numerator is 1, our denominator is 1, please rewrite it if that is just too much. And then 5 and 1, and then we just multiply straight across. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 over 1 equals 5. So there are 5 gallons in the aquarium. Number 3. Ooh, we've got a bunch of fractions in this one. Well, not a bunch, but 2. All right, let's see what we got to do here. So Maria made $30 babysitting. She spent 2/5 of her money on a new purse and 1/6 of it on lunch. How much money did she have left to spend? Left to spend. How much money did she have left to spend? Okay, so she had 30 to start. She spent 2/5 of it, 2/5 of her money on the purse, and 1/6 of her money on lunch. Okay, so let's think about the purse first. All right, so she spent 2/5 of her money. So, can I replace her money with a number? Do I know how much money she had? Yeah, she had $30. So we're going to say 2/5 of 30. And what does of mean? That's right, multiply. So I'm going to change of to multiply, and then 30 is we're going to make that a fraction. We're going to say 30 over 1. Can we simplify? Yes, we can. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. 2 and 1? Nope, can't do that. So we're going to multiply straight across. 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. So she spent how much on the purse? $12. Okay, I'm going to draw like a little squiggly line here to kind of separate it, because the next thing that we need to talk about is the lunch. Okay, so she spent 1/6 of it. Of what? 1/6 of it, 1/6 of the money. Okay, so she spent 1/6 of 30. So 1/6, then what does of mean? Multiply. Can we simplify? Thankfully we can. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Multiply straight across. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So for lunch she spent $5. Right? Quickly running out of room here, so I'm going to have to write small. Alright, so I just did a lot of math. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reread my question to make sure I'm answering my question. Okay? So Maria had made $30 babysitting. She spent 2/5 of her money on a new purse and 1/6 of it on lunch. How much did she have left to spend? Okay, so let's think about what we figured out so far. She spent $12 on the purse. She spent $5 on lunch. But we need to figure out how much money she had left. Well, how much did she spend? She spent 12 on the purse and 5 on the lunch. So altogether, she spent $17. That's not what it asked us for, though. It asked us how much she had left. How much did she start with? 30. So 30 minus 17 is, she had $13 left. Whew, that was a lot of work. All right, but we did take a fraction of, and we used multiplication. All right, why don't you try the fourth one by yourself? Pause the video, try it by yourself, and then check it. All right, Miguel had 2/3 of a can of paint, so he didn't even start with a whole can. He used 3/4 of it, and he didn't use all of what he had, to paint a bookshelf. What fraction of the whole can did he use? Well, he used 3/4 of it. So he used 3/4 of it. Do you notice how I took what the question asked me? What fraction of the whole can did he use? And I went back and specifically looked for that. What did he use? He used 3/4 of it. 3/4 of it? 3/4 of what? Do I have a number that I can replace that with? Well, the it is talking about the 2/3 of a can of paint that he had. So he used 3/4 of the 2/3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up here. I'm going to change that of to a what sign? Yep, to a multiply sign. So 3/4 of 2/3 or 3/4 times 2/3. Can we simplify? Ooh, yes we can. Look, yay, we have the same number across from each other, so that's going to make our math super easy. 3 divided by 3 and 3 divided by 3. That's going to give us 1 and 1. What about 2 and 4? Absolutely. So 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right, and we multiply straight across. So 1 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 1 is 2. So he used 1/2 of a can of paint. All right, so that is practicing multiplying a fraction times a fraction. And what we learned and focused on is when we have a fraction right next to the word of, if we can replace what's after it with a number, then all we have to do is multiply to get our answer. All right, good job, guys. All right, practice hard on this.